Hello, high school art class. How are you doing? So today I'm going to show you some examples on Pinterest of our kind of cut paper sculpture relief art project. And this week, what I expect is for you guys to do your planning to kind of choose which style you would like to do, and to sketch it out, to get your materials, your find whatever paper that you'll be working on and your knife, and to sketch on the back side. Use a ruler of what you'll be using or what you'll be designing and doing. And then I'll give you 2 weeks to actually do the cutting part of it, and if you have to do any folding or flipping of the paper or anything like that. Just like we would in art class, it's like week 1 is introduction and prep, and then 2 weeks to actually complete the project. Okay? So, just while I have you at the beginning here. So since we'll be cutting paper with knives, let's talk about the paper. If you use just regular, plain printer paper, it is going to be so easy to crease, easy to, your knife will go so easy through it that it'll be easy to overcut, to make mistakes in and whatnot. So if you have to use plain printer paper because you can't find anything else, then you can. But try to find something thicker. Hear that sound? Okay. So I do happen to have some cardstock. Totally different sound. It's a little bit thicker here. This is blue. I have some other colors. Resume paper, like if you're gonna be sending out resumes. If your parents have any of that, that's usually kind of a thicker paper. Sometimes it has a little texture in it. That's cool stuff. Okay. Look, it's a manila folder. What a lovely shade of yellow. Isn't it nice? Anyway, again, this is a nice, slightly thicker paper. Do you have a folder from school that you're not using anymore? Just like a folding, like a folder with a pocket or something like that, that you could use the paper from. That is also slightly thicker paper. You can be creative. I was also thinking, like, if you got like a greeting card, but usually that does have some kind of printing on it. Oh, the back side of the front. So like the front has all the pretty stuffs on it, and you open it up and it's blank on the inside. If you had that blank side of a greeting card, that could be the front of your project, and anything that you fold up would actually show bits of your greeting card in. Just try to be creative finding a paper that is a little bit thicker, if at all possible. Okay. Oh yeah, if you have a sketchbook, look. That's from the little sign we did for on Facebook. I miss crazy food. Oh, I had some beef rouladen the other day. You wrap your thin tenderized steaks around a pickle, with some little bit of mustard and some bacon, and then you brown it, and then kind of crock pot it for like an hour and a half in its own gravy. Man, that's good stuff. Beef rouladen, crazy food. Anyway, so my sketchbook here is a thicker paper. If you have a sketchbook, or if your sister has a sketchbook. Hey, Gwen, can I steal a page out of your sketchbook? Anyway, all for the sake of art. So, be creative when you find a piece of paper. Knives. I got a box of knives. I have a big sort of box cutter, which I don't have here. I have several of these little knives. These things work. An actual X-Acto. A fancy schmancy X-Acto. Yeah, man, when you're in college, you'll pay $5 for something cool because it's cool. Anyway, yes, find a sharp knife. If you do have one of these and it's been used quite a bit, do go ahead and break off the nick section so that you're nice and sharp. If you're going to use something that uses razor blades, try to find if you do have any razor blades or if you have an X-Acto and you want to put in a new knife. A new clean sharp knives are safe knives, and if at all possible, get the sharpest thing you got. Okay, because sharp knives are safer. Okay. You will also need a piece of cardboard to be working on, depending on how strong you are. You might need a few layers. Okay, you might need a few layers if you're going to be, because we don't want you slicing through to whatever it is that's underneath. If you want to put a cutting board underneath your cardboard so that you cut into the cutting board, or I have an old clipboard that I use. I just have melamine laying around because I do. But I can put the cardboard on top of the melamine, and then it doesn't matter if I cut through my cardboard, because on occasion you might cut through a single layer of cardboard. Try not to do that because cardboard dulls your knife like crazy. Okay, so try not to push through your cardboard. Okay, you do want to cut through your paper, but you don't want to cut any deeper than you have to. Okay, so let me show you some examples here. So in the beginning here, I kind of have some geometric shapes. Actually, just kind of... Okay. So the key to a lot of these things is repetition and craftsmanship. Okay. So this thing looks cool because everything is in a nice circle and all these little points are cut. They're just simple arcs, but they're cut with precision. They're cut very evenly, okay, and then they were kind of bent up. Here is a circle, and all of these, every other wedge is a long wedge, and some are short, okay, and then the pieces are peeled backwards, okay. This looks neat because it has cool colored paper back behind it. We're not going to be doing something like that. Again, this is a little bit more... Can I just make that bigger? There we are. Hey, look. There's that bird. I didn't think that's what I clicked on. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. I love the fish. I love the fish. That's tough, though. That's tough because things do have to be placed very well. Here, things are kind of random, like a sort of a grassy pattern. Okay? But again, it's very evenly spaced. Very evenly spaced. Okay? These boxes where one edge is peeled one way and the other edge is peeled the opposite way. It's a rectangle, and then they made a diagonal slice. Okay? And this is just kind of like a close-up view of something. They just made X's and then folded up the corners. Again, things here are all about cutting cleanly on all of those sorts of things. Okay, here we just kind of have like a repeat where we've cut out little rectangles, and here we've made some other sort of shapes. Same thing here. I'm gonna have to figure out how... Ooh, there we can find it. Thank you for focusing. Here's kind of a diagram of some shapes that have been cut that are used to sort of make these things down below like this. Okay, where you would make a couple little slits and you'd pull up one or two of these little layers and bend them up. Like this one above here, see these little D shapes? They used this cutout pattern right there. And then this one for the sort of X's. Okay, so those are the two that were used to create this pattern here, and it was simply cut out on a grid. Okay, So this right here, they basically are cutting a Y shape, and they've used a similar shape here for this, okay? But it's a matter of what kind of pattern they just made a simple a grid pattern here, and made a little arrow, and then they put like some rainbow paper underneath it, right? Simple but cool. Here's a nice leaf. Wow, because you got all the time in the world. Let's scroll down to that one. I do like that one. How much time? Oh, we're at 10 minutes already. Okay. Focus, focus. We can do it, camera. Anyway, this here. Tap on that, maybe see if it'll make it focus. There we are. That's just a whole bunch of V's, and then they're lifted up to see orange underneath it. Okay. Do you see this V pattern there? And then they fold layers down. Okay, and it ends up looking something like this. Okay, I've got a few more of those up here. Again, they've simply cut triangles, and they fold up the triangles, and that's what makes this sort of lattice work. Okay, here they've cut V's and folding them up. Okay. Ooh, cool lotus flower. Now this, do I have a picture of what that one looks like? I don't. They're kind of out of order here a little bit. Do you see these question marks? Oh, wait, we just got giant. Okay, these question marks. Okay, that is a cut pattern. And that ends up, here, something similar to this. They're folded over, and it kind of makes a wreath of hearts. Okay, here they just cut out a circle for the center. This V pattern also looks pretty cool when it is folded backwards onto itself. And thank you. Here, I'll scroll up so you can actually see it. Thank you for focusing, camera. So here's just a few more. See these V's? Camera, you can focus, man. Trust me, you can do it. Thank you. So these V's and these slits here, and then they do hole punches around the edge. That's what made this. Okay. These little arcs here. Okay. That's what makes the sunflower. Okay. Something like this would make because if you think about it, it's like, what are you going to do with this when you're done, right? This could be a cool something to frame a photo. You know, any of these, if you had like a circle in the middle or something like that to cut out to frame a picture, something to do with it. Okay, when you're done. Here is a bunch of hexagons. Okay, and again, they just had, it's not even rainbow paper, they just cut different strips of like instruction paper to put back behind it. They used a dark gray paper, cut out hexagons in various sizes, very close together. Okay. Here, again, very close together, they cut kind of a Y shape. The thing is it's a very even grid, and then they put this on top of like bright orange paper. Here's my fishies again. Just a bunch of arcs and X's, and this one's actually done in fabric. What a cool! I'd wear that as shoes, man. Fun dress shoes. Okay. So here is kind of some offset this offset can I say half squares? Anyway, can be folded like this, or if you actually cut it out, it can kind of just be like a mobile. Anyway, ooh, hello, I zoomed in. Okay. I do have a secondary option of like cutting out cardboard, but cutting off the top layer of cardboard. If anybody's interested in that, I can kind of shoot you some pictures of working with cardboard if you can't find any paper, but this is the project mainly that I want you to work on. I'm just going to scroll through some of these. Okay. One more scroll through. I'll try to post several of these pictures, or if there's any of these pictures that you're interested in that I haven't posted, let me know and I will try to post it. Okay, so focus. Ta-da! The main thing here is planning this week to kind of pick what type of thing you want to make and plan it out. I do expect you to be spending about 45 minutes to an hour at least cutting on this. So if you show up with a project that's real simple with like 6 cuts, I'm like, that isn't going to fly. I want you to work for a little while. I want you to get in the groove of it. If you want to do any practice things, you can do like a little practice thing if you want to attempt your shape. Like I would at least say attempt your shape, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Straight lines are easier than curved lines, okay? Especially if you want it to be a curve, like a roundy curve. So I'm just going to show this up real quick. So right here, the edges of these things. Hello, outside reflection. Okay. To have your knife cut around in a circle like that, very tough, very tough. To start at this point, kind of arc down and start at the point and arc down the other way, that's going to be a lot easier. Okay. For you to do. You could be able to get a little bit of an arc that way. So, this week I want to see kind of a sketch of what you're thinking of. Again, whatever it is that you design, you will be designing it on the back side of your paper, so that you'll be doing the cutting on the back side. That way you don't have to worry about seeing all the pencil marks will show up a lot less, okay? On the other side, on the front side of your project. Any questions? All right. Have fun. And just if you want me to get back to you faster, if you leave a comment anywhere in Google Classroom, like anywhere in Google Classroom, I have my notifications turned on for that. So I can get back to you usually within a half an hour or something like that, sometimes quicker than that. If you send me an email, I only check my email, every couple of hours. So I don't have my notifications turned on for that because of junk mail. Okay, so write a note on Google Classroom and I will get it faster if that is something that you